No gimmicks today, we're just playing the Epic Storm, the most optimal as possible because I need to test for the upcoming event this weekend, SCG Baltimore. Let's go check out the deck list. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is what we'll be playing today. I know that my last two videos were 5-0s, one with a more stock version of the Epic Storm, and then one with Psychic Frog. And I know that a lot of people like the idea of Psychic Frog, but playing a few more leagues and, watching other people play the card, I wasn't overly impressed, and I sort of missed having additional protection in the sideboard in the form of Force of Will. Well, Force of Will is not in our deck list today. Surprise, surprise. So I played another league with Force of Will, and then I played the Showcase event with Force of Will, and what I found was that the metagame has shifted. And I'm not talking that Force of Will isn't good anymore. What I'm talking about is things like Vexing Bauble coming into play off of Urza's Saga and getting underneath Force of Will, and things like that. So I ultimately decided that maybe I should start testing without Force of Will, and that's what we're doing today. So I am most likely going to play this list in the upcoming event this weekend at SCG Baltimore, and Thoughtseize is back in the sideboard over Force of Will. Well, why would I do that? So this card can, on the play, discard a Vexing Bauble, which is interesting. It hits Mindbreak Trap, which is seeing more and more play. Yes, these are all cards that Force of Will can hit, but we're a deck with a lower blue count. When you board in Force of Will, you're often at 16 to 18 blue cards, which is slightly low, but still reasonable. And basically, I just want more consistency out of that slot. So we're playing Thoughtseize today, and it being able to just hit, more stuff more consistently is sort of the idea here. And another thing that happened is Force of Will doesn't work that well with Lion's Eye Diamond, but we were able to work around it a lot of the time. And just in some of those non-blue matchups where speed is really important, so you want hands with Echo of Aeons plus Lion's Eye Diamond, you weren't able to go fast because you were worried about them having Mindbreak Trap. Well, with Thoughtseize, you can just check and go, which is something that we're interested in. So enough about Thoughtseize. I think it's not a huge difference. If you want to keep on playing Force of Will, do it. It's a good card. But I think that Thoughtseize is just slightly better in this deck right now. If Urza's Saga and a Vexing Bauble never happened, I'd probably still be playing Force of Will. Alright, so the other thing is that the second Chain of Vapor is back. I just want more ways to answer Resolve Permanence off of Urza's Saga. So Chain of Vapor, bouncing Vexing Bauble. And we are the deck that plays Veil of Summer. So Veil of Summer says your spells can't be countered. Vexing Bauble counters spells. So you're like, well, why wouldn't you just leave in Veil of Summer? Which is a fair question. I don't think it's bad or dumb or anything like that. But the problem is this isn't really a card you want in your deck in post-board games versus decks like Green-White Depths or lands. So that is part of the reason why. And you might be saying, why? Why don't you want this card against them if they have Vexing Bauble? So the thing is, they also have other cards. Deafening Silence, Sphere of Resistance, things like that. Chain of Vapor answers those. Veil of Summer does not. So we want the more versatile card in our sideboard. And then that leaves it so that way you can leave Void Snare in your sideboard to Burning Wish for. So that way you have your Burning Wish to go get Void Snare. And then you have 4 answers in your deck post-board with Chain of Vapor and Beseech Who Endures. So that way you're more likely to be able to answer spells because you have 8 ways to access those answers. Yeah, so you also have Thoughtseize to just discard those cards too. Force of Will could counter them, but you do need a blue card. So that's really the changes. It's not a huge difference from what we were playing before. And on the last video, people didn't really get why we were playing Approach of the Second Sun. There's like 3 or 4 videos with this now. Go watch them. But the TLDR is the One Ring. Originally, it was Flare of Fortitude, but that card's not really seeing play. But Approach of the Second Sun beats Flare and the One Ring, and the One Ring is a popular card at the moment, so we are playing Approach of the Second Sun over the Grapeshot. So my last 2 leagues that I've recorded were both 5-0s. I have played leagues off camera since then, did not 5-0 those, but I'm hoping today to go back to back to back with 5-0 recordings. Let's see if we can make it happen. Thank you for watching this deck tech, and I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1, we're on the play. According to MTG Goldfish, our opponent has a history of playing blue decks. Here we have Veil of Summer, we have the guys. Well, the problem is we don't have any lands to cast these cantrips. So we could keep Imprint, probably the Brainstorm, onto this Chrome Mox and then cast Ponder. Hope to find like Echo of Aeons plus a green source, or we could just take a mulligan. I think I'm more inclined to mulligan here. The Guy's Will in our hand is just so stinky. I don't love this hand, but I do think that it's a keep. We'll bottom a Chrome Mox and let's try it out. Play the Misty Rainforest, pass the turn. Lion's Eye Diamond would be our best draw because it would allow us to have a turn 2 Echo of Aeons, likely with Veil of Summer backup. Basic Forest, okay. So this could just be Beanstalk control. I don't want to buy too much into the Basic Forest not being blue. I do think, though, that I'm going to... Hold on. Crop Rotation. Okay, it's not a blue deck. I think I'm going to grab the Undercity Sewers, so that way I have more black mana, because that would allow Burning Wish into Beseech the Mirror. So we'll grab the Undercity Sewers here, and then we'll get our Surveil on. Keep Lotus Petal. Okay, and now we'll play the Burning Wish. Yes. Go grab Beseech the Mirror. Pass the turn. They have the Planar Nexus, so this is 4 mana on turn 2. No play, though. Galvanic Relay. We'll begin with a Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Play Chrome Mox. I'm worried about Disruptor Flute here, so I'm sort of wondering if I should just Galvanic Relay. They allow it to happen. Chrome Mox. We'll imprint Veil of Summer. And I think we should just Relay. I know that I could Beseech the Mirror, but I don't want to lose to Flute, so we're going to Relay for 4. Another Mox Opal, Ponder, Echo of Aeons, and Dark Ritual. Pretty good Galvanic Relay. They make a green mana here, 3 total mana. They Besage you my Chrome Mox. Sure. Let's go grab a Commercial District. Another Galvanic Relay that can go on the bottom. Or I'm sorry, go to the graveyard, it's Surveil. Glimmer Post. Okay. Sowing Myco Spawn. So they can grab a Wasteland here if they're playing one. They're not. They grab a Yavimaya instead. So they still have Crop Rotation available. And we're just going to take the easiest avenue to win this game. They're no longer holding open Beseiju. We can just Song of Creation into something that wins. Cast Beseech, sacrificing Mox Opal. We'll grab... Why don't we move this over so our spells can stop being underneath the stack. We'll grab the Song of Creation. This makes it so we don't lose to a Crop Rotation into Bojuka Bog. We'll play the Mox Opal. Trigger the Song. Now that was pretty good. Play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, I like that as well. We'll play Chrome Mox. Song of Creation is so sweet. Our opponent keeps on pausing, but I don't think they've realized that they're actually just dead. Like, if you are not experienced with this matchup, you might just go, okay, count to 10, Beseech Tendrils. But they have Yavimaya into another Glimmer Post to gain 3 life. But I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not 12 years old. I know what I'm doing here. I've played Magic before. No disrespect to 12-year-olds. It's just I have a lot of experience. We'll Burning Wish into Thoughtseize to see if we can get them to concede a little bit quicker. And there's the Tendrils of Agony. Grab Thoughtseize. We'll play it. Another Crop Rotation. And a Cloudpost. Okay. I'm glad that we both agree that you're dead. Dark Ritual. Tendrils of Agony. Sweet. Going into game number 2, we want Thoughtseize, but you only want to bring in 3. It's good to leave 1 in the sideboard to Burning Wish for. And then we'll bring in 4 answers in the form of Beseiju and Chain of Vapor. We'll board out Veil of Summer and Galvanic Relay. Look at that. Clean 60 cards. 7 in, 7 out. It's just good board mapping. Okay, we've opened up our 7 for game number 2, and this hand is basically a mulligan to 5 between Song of Creation and the Tendrils of Agony. I'm going to take an actual mulligan and hope that our new hand is better. This is fine. We'll keep bottom the Chrome Mox. You have a Maya and a Vexing Bauble. Okay. Another Chrome Mox. We will fetch, grab Underground Sea, and let's Thoughtseize. The One Ring, Force of Vigor. I think it's the Force of Vigor here. We'll pass the turn. Like, the One Ring is a card to be concerned with, but it's going to be a little bit before that card really takes off. Gaia's Will, not a good draw. Let's play Brainstorm. We do need to find another land here. We do. We'll put back the Gaia's Will and a Chrome Mox. No action spells is a little scary here. We need to find something to do with our mana. Karakas. So they can exile the Spirit Guide. Karakas was a good draw because the Echoing Deeps wasn't going to help them. So they have now played the One Ring. I still think it was correct to take the Force of Vigor. We'll activate the Bloodstained Mire. Grab... I know that they have a Yavimaya, but I'm wondering... I think I should grab Commercial District just in case they crop rotation away the Yavimaya. We'll get rid of Dark Ritual. Another land. Okay, so the game plan here is on their end step, I'm going to destroy the Vexing Bauble, and then we're going to use the Bloodstained Mire to grab a Surveil land, and that's going to be our window. If I miss on finding an action spell, we probably lose. They're up to 6 cards in hand. Basic Forest. Another Bauble. Okay. That's tough. Maybe the plan now is to win through it rather than answering it. Grab an Undercity Sewers. I don't think I want Thoughtseize. We find Echo. So I could play Echo right now. I think I'm actually going to play the Beseech you. And I'll pass. So I could cast the Echo, but I wouldn't have a whole lot of mana, and I don't have a land drop. So I think instead I'm going to pass, and hopefully we'll draw something. Actually, I can't even play the Echo, because I don't have black, blue, blue. I have blue, black, but I don't have black, blue, blue. And they draw a card off the Vexing Bauble, which makes me look a little silly for playing out this Beseech you. Now they'll draw 3, 8 cards in their hand. Discards a Cloudpost. Brainstorm was a good draw. Let's play that. Beseech the Mirror. That is one that I like. We'll put back 2 artifacts. Let's Dark Ritual. And we will cast Beseech the Mirror. Let's grab Chain of Vapor. Pass the turn. Our opponent plays Kozilek's Command for 3. They're going to create 3 Eldrazi spawns and scry 3 draw a card. They're now going to use an Elvish Spirit Guide, cast Crop Rotation, for another Cloudpost. So if they have a giant Eldrazi, I am likely dead. They play the Planar Nexus. 12 mana, 13 mana. 15 is Emrakul, and that's what it is. Alright, so we've lost this game. We can now go to game number 3. Maybe I was a little too hasty playing out the Beseech you, but I don't know how much it really mattered. We will resubmit on the play. This hand's interesting. It loses to a Force of Vigor, which I don't like. You can't Echo. I'm going to mulligan. I think it's actually like a trap hand. This hand is so much better. We'll keep in bottom a Dark Ritual. Leyline of the Void. We'll play Thoughtseize. Veil of Summer, Vexing Bauble. We'll take the Bauble. Pass the turn. Once Upon a Time, good draw for them. They find Sowing Myco Spawn. And they play a Yavimaya. Part of me wonders if I should just empty the Warrens here. I'm pretty sure their deck doesn't play Tabernacle, and I don't know how they beat 10 Goblins. We'll play Lotus Petal. Fetch. Grab Volcanic. Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. Hold Control. And then make 3 red mana. Grab Empty the Warrens. And we'll play it. 10 Goblins. So they do have a Glimmer Post and a Sowing Myco spawn, so we're not looking at an easy 2-attacker situation. So it will take 3 attacks in order to win this game. They cycle Veil of Summer. I'm not surprised by that. They play Cloudpost. So that was a great draw for them because next turn they can go Glimmerpost into Sowing Mycospawn. Swing. There's the Glimmerpost. They'll gain 2 life, going up to 12. And there's the Mycospawn. We'll find out if they have a Tabernacle. Most lists don't. So if they have it, they have it. They grab a Planar Nexus. Okay. We will fetch. Grab Undercity Sewers. I like the Ponder. We'll keep that. Even if they somehow find an answer, we could, in theory, like Tendrils for Storm 2 and win this game as well. Swing. They'll take 9. They're at 3 life now. Play Ponder. Think we're supposed to shuffle those. Pass. They play Urza's Tower. They have a lot of mana here. Karn the Great Creator. Do you have like a Ratchet Bomb or something? Finds the One Ring. They play the One Ring. Okay. And Vexing Bauble. They attack. We'll take 3. Beseech the Mirror. What's funny is if they didn't play the I guess that doesn't matter because they have ring protection. We'll kill Karn the Great Creator. Pass the turn. So what's interesting is next turn, assuming that they don't win the game here, I could just Beseech sacrificing a Goblin token into Tendrils of Agony. So they currently have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Once upon a time, they find a Glimmerpost. 7 mana. Sowing Mycospawn. So they're just trying to chain Glimmerposts here. Ooh! That cuts me off of casting Beseech, so now I have to draw Dark Ritual. That was actually really devastating. Okay. They gain 4 life, and then the Glimmerpost is going to gain 5. So now they're back up to 11. And another Vexing Bauble. Dark Ritual still the best card in the deck. Besiege you, that was good. We'll swing. So they're going to take 7 down to 4. If they have another Veil of Summer, it actually hurts me a lot. So I can go Chrome Mox, countered, Beseech the Mirror, grab Tendrils. The original will be countered, and then the Storm will deal them, they'll lose 4 life. So the question is, do they have another Veil of Summer? I only have to bargain once. We'll play Chrome Mox. They're not F6'd. We'll bargain 1 Goblin. They draw a card using Vexing Bauble. We will grab Tendrils of Agony. Cast it. We did it! Look at that! 1-0 over Cloudpost. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the play. Our opponent's entire Goldfish history is nothing, and I mean nothing but Mono Red Prison. Here we have a hand where it looks pretty good. The fear is if they just go turn 1 Chalice of the Void or something like that. If we brainstorm into an Echo of Aeons, we're in a pretty good spot, or additional artifacts for a turn 2 Beseech the Mirror. It's slightly risky, but I'm going to keep it. We'll play Volcanic Island and cast a Brainstorm. Our opponent did have a mulligan to 5. We find an artifact for Beseech the Mirror. We'll put Tendrils back in the deck. Galvanic Relay on top. And then we're just going to play out our artifacts so that way we don't lose to Chalice of the Void on 0. Pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Chrome Mox. Imprints Blood Moon. Shatterskull Smashing is a land. Assuming Spirit Guide. And then they plot a Stingerback Terror, which is a really large dragon, if you're unfamiliar with this. And then it gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. So next turn, they can likely play a 7/7 haste. And this should just be a pretty clean win for us here. We're fortunate that they didn't really do anything meaningful, if I'm being honest. We will bargain away this Mox Opal. And then Gaia's Will. And then in response to the Gaia's Will, we'll add 3 black. Storm is 2. We'll play out some artifacts. Play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Whoops. Pop this up here, a little bit easier to see. Play out the Diamond. Tap this opal for a blue. We'll make 3 more black. We just need to increase the storm count just a touch. We'll play Brainstorm. Finds another Dark Ritual. Cast it. We'll now play Beseech the Mirror. Storm 8. Bargain away this Mox Opal. We'll Beseech the Mirror again, because I can. And the opponent concedes. Love that. Once again, we just want to do the standard sideboard plan. Thoughtseize coming in, along with our 4 answers. Get rid of Veil of Summer. Interesting hand. I think I'll keep this. Ancient Tomb. 3 mana for a first turn Magus of the Moon. And Chalice of the Void. I believe we are locked. That is a good hand. Alright. Well, I think we could have beat this without Chalice of the Void, but our deck doesn't have an answer to this lock because we're not playing the Grapeshot. That said, I don't have a Burning Wish anyway. So you'd have to find Burning Wish, and then you'd have to spend a turn playing the Burning Wish, go get the Grapeshot, and then on the following turn waste some artifacts just so you could kill the Magus. And I feel like it's a lot of what-if situations where beating the One Ring with Approach just comes up more often. So we lost game number 2. It happens. Let's just focus on game 3 now. On the play. Yeah, keep. This is turn 1 Empty the Warrens for a bunch. I wonder if it's a Beseech the Mirror win. I don't know. It might not be because I think we're short and imprintable. We'll fetch. Our opponent kept 7. Grab the Volcanic. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. You could also Echo of Aeons. My gut tells me that I just want to empty. Oh, I can't empty. I have to Echo here. I'm a mana short. I don't know what I was thinking. We'll Burning Wish. Grab the Echo. Let's spin the wheel. Uh-oh. They made a red. Do you have a Pyroblast? No Pyroblast. Okay. We'll play out our artifacts just to avoid Chalice of the Void again. And I mean, we're not winning this turn, but that was not a bad Echo of Aeons. So I have Beseech you. I have a green mana source in play that can't be disrupted by Blood Moon. We have Burning Wish and Beseech the Mirror. So I feel like we're in a good spot. City of Traders. Another land. So I could Beseech the Mirror, try to win here. Some lists do have Fairy Macabre in them, so I'm a little bit worried about that. A lot of lands. I mean, I think I'm supposed to do something here. We will bargain the Beseech. Make 3 black. I think we can beat a Fairy Macabre here. So we're going to bargain 2 more times. And I already have 3 artifacts. Actually, if they do have a Fairy Macabre, there is one way to beat me. I don't know if they'll see it. But if they hit Chrome Mox Lion's Eye Diamond. Interesting. Well, we have to grab another Beseech. Sacrifice the Opal. I will Gaia's Will. The correct move here is Opal Diamond, if they do have a Fairy Macabre. Any imprintable would have made this, and they did it. Oh, no! So you might be saying, Bryant, if you knew you lost to Fairy Macabre, why didn't you get Song of Creation? Well, if you look at their deck list, granted I didn't bring this up, so this is information you do not have. Their last list has 5 Pyroblast effects in the sideboard, so I didn't want to do that. Because 1, I'd have to pass the turn without triggering it 2. So it was a pretty big risk. Where here, I needed my opponent to make the right play, and they had to have a 2 of. So it was 2 different things that had to go their way here. Darn. We probably lose this now. They also had Disruptor Flute. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's another card that could have beaten me there. They could have just flashed in Flute in response to Beseech. And they named Beseech the Mirror. I feel like it's a little late on that, but okay. I only have 1 Beseech left in my deck. Unlicensed Hearse. Sure. Dark Ritual. Okay. Not a bad draw. We have 3 more Burning Wishes. It looks like they're lacking red mana. Let's see what they have in hand with this Thoughtseize. Magus in the Moon, another Disruptor Flute, Fiery Confluence. I think I have to take the Magus. And step another Disruptor Flute. Then they name Beseiju. Sure. So our most likely avenue to victory is now Echo of Aeons. We'll play Ponder. Speaking of which, we will pass the turn. Okay, time to spin that wheel. Dark Ritual. Can't believe we're in a spot where we could potentially win this game. Nothing is promised or guaranteed. But I thought for sure we were going to lose after that Fairy Macabre blowout. We'll make 3 blue. Flashback the Echo. We have 5 available mana here. They activate Unlicensed Curse to exile the Dark Ritual and Lion's Eye Diamond. That makes sense because it's less mana in our deck for us to draw. We will play a Brainstorm. Storm is 4. Put back the Beseech we don't need. And let's get rid of an extra land. We can now fetch with the Misty Rainforest. We'll go grab the Underground Sea. That should still be in our deck here. We'll play Ponder, looking for a Burning Wish. Song of Creation. That's a good one. We'll keep. So I have to play Thoughtseize in order to trigger the song here. So we do lose to Simian Spirit Guide plus Pyroblast, because I need the Lotus Petal to be the extra color. Dark Ritual. Play the Lotus Petal. So blue, green, red. We'll play Song of Creation. Storm is 8. They have it. No! This is devastating here. Ah. Alright. Like, I would have had to pass the turn otherwise. I think we just have to take the Bone Crusher Giant. Brutal. Just brutal here. There was a lot of patience on them, too, to not Pyroblast Ponders or Brainstorm. So that was another thing that played into my decision-making there, where I was pretty convinced, like, if they had it, they would have played Pyroblast. And they drew a Fable. I'm probably dead here. They just crew Unlicensed Curse twice. We needed to find Burning Wish, I guess. Okay. I can't think of draws that get me out of this, like, because we know the next card is a card we don't want. So I'll play the Brainstorm, get rid of these 2, and now we have to get a Surveil land here. I just don't think it's possible. I guess I could Surveil away Echo. Was I supposed to Brainstorm in response to the Surveil trigger then? I don't know. I didn't think of it until after I saw the Dark Ritual. And we didn't find anything of relevance. I guess I could try to stem the bleeding by... I could play out Mox Opal, Chain of Vapor, the Hearse just to buy time when they go to attack. I guess. This is not like a good play. So now they get to discard 2, draw 2. Like, I'm sure, like, going back to that Ponder, I wonder if there was a way, and there might not have been, for me to play Brainstorm after into... No, because it still eats up a colored mana I did not have access to. Like, we were just 1 colored mana short of being able to make the play that I wanted. Chalice of the Void on 1 when our top card is a Ponder. Chalice of the Void on 0. Okay, we are done here. I know that my next 2 draws aren't going to be good enough. Alright. I don't know if I played this match perfectly, but I think I played it fine enough. I do think we hit some bad breaks. It happens. We're now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Alright, let's bounce back. We're on the play for the 3rd match. So I've played this person a number of times in the past, and they were always on Namesticker Goblins. But the last time I faced them, they were on Moon Stompy. So I'm going to guess it's still a red Ancient Tomb deck. This hand is not very good. We will send it back. This is like the same hand, but worse. We'll go to 5. This isn't great either. I think I should actually just go to 4. This is the best hand we've seen. Keep. So we'll put Veil of Summer, Bayou, and the Mox Opal on the bottom. Our opponent reveals a Devourer of Destiny. Okay, so I'm still going to play out the Diamond, just in case. There's, you know, Chalice of the Void, Vexing Bauble, all that stuff. Devourer of Destiny. And they did reveal a Chalice of the Void that... Okay. So that was a card that went on the bottom. Interesting. We'll fetch. Slightly worried about a Disruptor Flute here. We'll grab a Commercial District. Bin the guy as well. Dark Ritual, okay. Fetch. Grab Underground Sea. Play Dark Ritual. Burning Wish. Resolves. We'll grab Echo of Aeons. Not bad for a mulligan to 4. And now we'll flash back the Echo, floating 1 blue mana and 1 black mana. It resolves. We found Tendrils, and we have 4 mana, but it is not lethal yet. I think we should ponder. We don't want any of that. We'll shuffle. Another land was not very good. I'm going to Lotus Petal Brainstorm because I don't want to imprint the Chrome Mox. Because if I find Lion's Eye Diamond, I don't want my Echo underneath a Chrome Mox. Instead, we found nothing. Okay, so I guess we're going to pass the turn. Play out Chrome Mox. Imprint the Relay. Burning Wish. And I'll go grab like a Void Snare or something. Pass. So we're also in a weird spot here where I can't go get the... So I don't have triple black, right? Like I have a red Chrome Mox and a red Surveil land in play. If I want to play the Undercity Sewers next turn, we have to surveil away the Tendrils. And here's the Thought Knot. This probably just takes the Echo. Yep. So I don't have triple black. And if I played the Bloodstained Mire, then I'm delayed a turn on the Undercity Sewers. So we're in a really awkward position. And now we'll get rid of the Tendrils. Pass the turn. No point in bouncing Thought Knot Seer. Like, we'll draw a random card, and then they'll replay it, and then exile the Beseech the Mirror. You might have been thinking, why would you play out Burning Wish to go get Void Snare? So we saw Chalice of the Void, right? Like, that is a card that we could theoretically bounce. It forces them to Chalice on 1, which is a number I don't even care about right now. And the other thing is, like, we didn't know they had Eye of Ugin into Thought Knot Seer. If they went Ancient Tomb and Karn the Great Creator, Void Snare beats that. Post-combat, they play Cavern of Souls, naming Eldrazi. Lotus Petal. The old Lotus Petal Chalice of the Void deck. Classic. Sowing Mycospawn, and they kicked it. So they can exile a land and then go get a land. So if they have a Wasteland in their deck, which they probably do, I am down 2 lands here. So we really want to find a Dark Ritual as our draw. And there's the Wasteland. Mox Opal. Unfortunately not good enough here. So if we draw a Lotus Petal or Lion's Eye Diamond next turn, that could do it. Chrome Mox would not. And now they attack for 7. Another Wasteland. Wow. Okay. We need a miracle. Chrome Mox does not do it as I said. Alright, so we lose this game. Chain of Vapor, Thoughtseize, Beseiju. I feel like my echoes have not been remarkable today. That said, they've been fine. It's just that the cantrips post-echo have not been up to par as well. So hoping for some better variants moving forward. On the play for game number 2. This hand doesn't actually do anything. We will mulligan. This hand is likely okay enough. So to go back to Force of Will. If I wanted to keep this hand with Force of Will in it, I'd be pressured to not cast the Brainstorm. Or if there was something they cared about, I'd have to exile it. And then I'm down to just Dark Ritual. Where here, Thoughtseize being a little bit more proactive means that Brainstorm is free. Null Rod, Mindbreak Trap, Chalice of the Void. What? In your Eldrazi deck? Sure. I can't catch a break. I think we're supposed to take the Chalice. We will pass the turn after that. Ancient Tomb and 2 Null Rod. Yep. Once again, they're a Lotus Petal deck with Null Rod and Chalice of the Void. Alright, we will play Brainstorm. We have found Chain of Vapor. I think I might be able to beat this Mindbreak Trap. So we'll put Brainstorm there. Song on top. No, I can't do that because I need to fetch Volcanic. I'm like 1 mana short. So maybe the play is that I don't... Okay, I'm going to have to do this over multiple turns. We'll pass. I have Ugin. I mean, they could play an It That Heralds here. Unless they're trying to keep up Kozilek's command. Grab Commercial District. Get rid of another Brainstorm. We will play Brainstorm. Into garbage. I needed more mana. So the problem here is that I don't even know if this matters. Maybe I shouldn't do that. So the problem is that if I play out Chrome Mox to bounce the Null Rod, they could just copy it and bounce the Chrome Mox. And if I want to go Chrome Mox, Petal, Song, it looks like... Okay, so I think next turn I'll just do Chain of Vapor. I'll play out Petal on my turn. I'll go Chain of Vapor, the Null Rod. And then on the following turn I can go Chrome Mox, Song, and then we have to pass. Alternatively, if I can ponder into a fetch land, we can make this a lot easier. Because I might be able to start winning the same turn with Song. I'm going to do this. Like, I know it's slightly greedy and it delays me a turn, but I'd rather try to win the same turn. And this was much better. Can we beat Chalice of the Void, Mindbreak Trap, Null Rod? This is the pivotal turn. Another Ancient Tomb. We'll take some damage here. I'm at 14. We don't know one card in their hand. We'll fetch, grab Volcanic, bounce the Null Rod. Another Lotus Petal. Okay. We'll play Petal. This is Storm 1. Blue, green, red, white. Song of Creation is Storm 2. You cannot Mindbreak Trap this. We'll now play Chrome Mox to trigger the Song. Into 2 duds. Okay. Imprint the guy as well. Lotus Petal. This would actually be a good one for them to Mindbreak Trap. Okay. That was actually a really good draw too. Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, things are looking decent. Play a Dark Ritual. And if they Mindbreak Trap this, we could just Echo. Play a Mox Opal. At the rate we're going, eventually I will find a Thoughtseize and we'll just discard the Mindbreak Trap. Another Dark Ritual. We find another Beseech. Let's Burning Wish. Draw 2 off of the Song. They Mindbreak Trap that. We will put a Tendrils of Agony on the stack. If their one unknown is another Tendrils, or I'm sorry, another Mindbreak Trap for Tendrils, we're not out of this. I can still just spin the wheel on Echo of Aeons. Wow, we beat the hand of Chalice of the Void, Mindbreak Trap, Null Rod. Anything is possible. Let's resubmit. This hand is straight garbage. We will mulligan. You can make fun of me. I'm going to keep it. I don't like mulliganing to 5 against the Null Rod Chalice Mindbreak Trap deck. And here we have Beseech, and then theoretically Dark Ritual into Beseech. I mean, obviously I need to find more mana. I get that, but it is within the realm of possibility. Alright, Leyline, Basic Forest. Commercial District. We'll keep the Misty. And then we'll pass. Snow-Covered Wastes. Thorn of Amethyst. Okay. Your deck is so hateful. We'll play the Misty, pass the turn. I have Ugin. Sowing Mycospawn. Okay. They find Eldrazi Temple. They did not get a Wasteland. Get the Heralds. So I'm going to accept that I lose to Mindbreak Trap. If one of their last 2 cards in hand is a Mindbreak Trap, you know, you got it. Like, you wanted this more than I did, but we have a window to win the game here. Destroy the Thorn. Dark Ritual. Ponder was actually a great draw here. So we're going to Beseech into Song of Creation, play Chrome Mox, imprint the Echo, cast Ponder. Long pause on a Mox Opal. Beseech the Mirror, bargain the Mox Opal. Grab Song of Creation. It resolves! Chrome Mox. Trigger. Imprint the Echo. I don't think I want to fetch. I just don't know what land I would get here, and I don't want to fetch for the wrong color. Like, now I want to get Bayou, but if I was to blind fetch, I'd probably grab Volcanic. We'll take the Beseech. And now we'll fetch. Grab the Bayou. Let's play Chrome Mox. Storm is 7. Another Beseech the Mirror. Play Dark Ritual. Storm 8. We have a land, so I can fetch and play Ponder here. I'm kind of just looking for +1 mana and Thoughtseize at this point. If they had something, they probably would have played it, but you never know. And there's Thoughtseize. We'll shuffle these. Another Thoughtseize. Play the diamond. Let's see if I'm allowed to play Thoughtseize. We are. Sweet. Play the Thoughtseize. Storm 11. They had nothing. Okay, well that's going to be the ball game. So we'll tap this for black. The only way you could lose is if you draw your Tendrils of Agony at this point. So you should bargain away the Song of Creation. So that way you don't draw Tendrils. Cast it. All that hate and you still lost. What a shame. We're now 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw against an opponent that I've played 7 times, and each time it's been a different, unique blue deck. So we're going to see what blue deck they're playing today. Blooded Strand. For an Underground Sea. Tamiyo, sure. We find our own Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, and let's ponder. I love this. Keep. It's going to be a great Galvanic Relay next turn. Pass. Basic Swamp. What are you doing? They attack with the Tamiyo, create a clue. Play the Underground Sea, Lion's Eye Diamond. Is this a card you want to Force of Will? It is. Exiles Delver of Secrets. How about that? Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. What about a Chrome Mox? This might be a little bit bold. I'm going to exile the Echo, play Ponder. We know that we have a Burning Wish, so I don't really feel the need to keep an Echo in hand, especially when they just shove themselves down to 3 cards. Like, I don't want to refill their hand. Instead, I would like to refill my exile with this Galvanic Relay. Storm 8 Galvanic Relay. Beautiful. Another Relay, another Burning Wish, Brainstorm, Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual. Okay, the Ritual was a good find. We were slightly late on mana, but that fixed it. They'll draw a card using their clue. Wasteland. They destroy Volcanic Island. And now they attack and create another clue. Another Burning Wish. Do we have enough? Alright, so we'll play the Bloodstained Mire. So if we go Mox Opal, Chrome Mox, tap those for the Burning Wish from exile. Grab a Thoughtseize, play Thoughtseize off of this. We have 3 mana in play. Chrome Mox would be 4. Dark Ritual would be 5/6. So then we have enough mana to Burning Wish again into Beseech the Mirror, which should be a win. So this is a protected win. We'll play Burning Wish. Grab Thoughtseize. We'll then play Thoughtseize. Double Daze. So that does stop my line. Okay. We will fetch. If it'll let me. Let's go. What's up with the lag? Grab Bayou. Let's play Dark Ritual. And now I'm going to Brainstorm. Because if Brainstorm finds another Dark Ritual or a Lion's Eye Diamond, we have the win. It does not. Instead, we find the 4th Burning Wish. Okay. I believe we're supposed to just set up another Galvanic Relay now. Play the Chrome Mox. We'll imprint this Burning Wish. And then cast this one. This time we'll go grab a Beseech the Mirror. And we'll Galvanic Relay for 7. Our main deck Tendrils just got exiled. So the Burning Wish in exile needs to grab the Tendrils of Agony, because this is the only way we're now capable of winning the game. And that was not a very good Burning Wish. Or a very good Galvanic Relay. So next turn, if they find a Force of Will, we're in trouble. Even though we've had 2 gigantic relays, they haven't really been that good. We've also seen 50% of our deck at this point and have not found a Veil of Summer. Not exactly a common situation. Our opponent plays a Brainstorm. And now they can flip the Tamiyo, getting back the Force of Will from the graveyard. Good draw. They plus the Tamiyo? Thoughtseize. Interesting. And we find Veil of Summer. So this was technically the 50% card because there's 30 cards left in deck. My fear now is this is the last Burning Wish. This has to grab the Tendrils. I cannot use it in another manner. Let's Brainstorm. No, come on, deck. Put those back. We'll fetch. Grab the Commercial District. Get rid of the Ponder. Veil of Summer. Let's see if they do anything. I'm 1 mana short right now of Burning Wish to empty the Warrens, But that doesn't make any sense when there's a Tamiyo in play either. So I'm just pointing that out in case we can't get up to Lethal Storm. We need to find like a Lion's Eye Diamond off this Brainstorm. And we did. Okay, so we'll play the Diamond. Tap this Opal for mana. We'll play the new Opal. So Burning Wish would be 7. Tendrils of Agony would be 8. Our opponent's at 16. Okay. Yes. Grab the sideboard copy of Tendrils of Agony, and we'll play it. They're fetching in response. I mean, if you have a Stifle, you got me. Okay, so they're dead. I think we just want to do 2 Beseiju minus 2 Mox Opal. On the draw for game number 2, this seems fine to me. Delver of Secrets. Play the Misty Rainforest Pass. So I could fetch for Volcanic or play the Underground Sea Ponder. I don't want my spell to be dazed because we just need to find protection and we're off to the races. So this Ponder has more value than it normally would. And because of that, I think it's fine to hold for a turn. Basic Swamp. Strong start. Alright, turn 2 Thoughtseize. I believe the correct pick here is Ponder. If they take Lion's Eye Diamond, it means that there's most likely a surgical extraction in our future. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. We'll fetch. Grab Undercity Sewers. Get rid of Tendrils. Don't want that. Interesting. No stop on our draw step. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire. Let's ponder. I mean, Dark Ritual's not bad here. Neither is the Brainstorm. Okay, I'll keep it. Pass the turn. They reveal Force of Will to the Delver of Secrets. Yikes. I'm at 15. Wasteland. Goodbye to our Undercity Sewers. We'll play Underground Sea and pass. They draw a card using the clue. I'm going to fetch in response. We'll grab the Commercial District. And with that on the stack, we'll Brainstorm, so that way we can surveil away this Echo. That wasn't a great Brainstorm. We didn't really need that much more mana. Echo to the graveyard. They attack. We know that they have a Force of Will. They draw with the clue. If they have double Force of Will, we lose. Play the Bayou. Dark Ritual. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. And I'm expecting the Beseech the Mirror to be countered here. Like, it's just the obvious play from our opponent. They let it resolve? No. I mean, should we just relay them into the dirt here? Let's grab a Galvanic Relay for 6 if you're not going to counter my Beseech. 3 mana so far. Burning Wish. Song of Creation. And a Mox Opal. Okay. They swing. I'll go to 8. They Brainstorm to transform the Tamiyo. They plus Tamiyo. Play a Wasteland. I don't think mana's our choke point anymore, so I don't think I care all that much about the Wasteland. Goodbye, Commercial District. I believe our last fetchable in the deck is a Volcanic Island. Brainstorm. Let's start with the Brainstorm. If we don't care about this Misty, maybe I could find 2 good spells instead. Alright, well, Ponder isn't much help to me, so we'll actually end up keeping Misty. Drawing Veil was very good. Let's start with casting Veil of Summer. Our opponent plays a Force of Will. Sure. Play Mox Opal. Let's fetch with the Misty. Dark Ritual. Make 3 red. We'll play Burning Wish. I mean, they have to force this, and if they don't, I can just grab Tendrils of Agony. They let it go. Alright, well, now you need a Stifle. Lotus Petal. Okay, well, that was a weird match. We're now 3-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the play. 5-lander. Our opponent's history is with Painter Servant combo. So I don't know if I love a 5-land Brainstorm hand against the Pyroblast deck. I believe we should mulligan. Turn 1 Protected Echo of Aeons, another story. We will keep. Put Beseech the Mirror on the bottom. Play Chromox. We will imprint Veil of Summer. Play Veil of Summer. Lion's Eye Diamond. Chrome Mox. So you might be wondering, why not bottom the other Chrome Mox? Well, we're a deck that has Mox Opal in it, which means we care about Metalcraft. So if I draw a Mox Opal, it makes mana now. Oh, speaking of which, Mox Opal. Weird. I can't believe that would happen like that. So wild. Dark Ritual. And now our opponent is dead. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. Why not? We'll do one more just for good luck. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain. And now we will select Tendrils of Agony. Cast it targeting our opponent. Boom! Alright, so Painter's Servant. They're a Mindbreak Trap deck, so we definitely want Thoughtseize. And Force of Will against the Pyroblast deck is not great. So this is definitely a matchup where I'd rather have Thoughtseize over Force of Will anyway. So I'm pretty happy to be playing Thoughtseize today. And it's just the standard board plan. If you were feeling a little frisky, you could keep in 2 copies of Veil of Summer over the Chain of Vapors, because Veil of Summer stops Pyroblast. It also doesn't care about Vexing Bauble. Maybe if I lose this, I'll try it for the 3rd game. I mean, I've never tried that plan before, but it's certainly a viable option. We draw an artifact to win. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm willing to try it. Our opponent plays a Mountain and a Vexing Bauble. Okay. We draw a Lotus Petal, so that means that we could have a win on the 2nd turn. Mountain. Soul Guide Lantern, so that's going to shut off the win. Okay. And we have Song of Creation in hand, so we can't Beseech for Song. Misty Rainforest, okay. We'll play that and pass. Painter's Servant. They choose blue. Alright, so we're in a spot where I should try for something here. We'll Chain of Vapor the Vexing Bauble. They have Simian Spirit Guide and a Blast? Nice. Okay, well that did not work. We will fetch. Let's grab a Commercial District. I think I want to keep the Ponder. We're looking to Ponder into land number 3 here. None of those are good. We will shuffle. Another Lotus Petal. Pass. That's a Grindstone. So our opponent is now representing lethal. Okay, so we could go Beseiju on the... Okay, we could go Dark Ritual, Beseiju, floating 2 black. I can play Song. And then I can trigger it with Dark Ritual. The only downside here is if their last card in hand is a Pyroblast. Or if they bobble into a Pyroblast. Dark Ritual. We will destroy the Vexing Bauble. They should draw a card here. Well, actually, no, you can't do that. Because if they draw a card, they don't get the basic. So Pyroblast that way doesn't work. If their last card in hand is Pyroblast, they don't want to draw a card. But I mean, they could draw a card using the Soul Guide Lantern if they do allow this to get destroyed. Interesting spot to be in. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Do I just have a... Hold on. Before I Song of Creation, do we have a normal one? So Dark Ritual would bring me up to 4. Beseech Bargain would be from 6. 7, 8, 9. I'm 1 storm short. Okay, I hope your last card is not Pyroblast. Play Song of Creation. They draw a card using Soul Guide Lantern. Play Dark Ritual. That doesn't do what I guess I can Beseech as Diabolic Tutor. We'll draw 2. I think I'm supposed to grab a Lotus Petal here. Do we have another Lotus Petal? There it is. I'm like, yeah, I've only used 3, right? We'll play the Bloodstained Mire. Because we already have 2 untapped lands in play, I want to immediately go find the Volcanic Island. Play Lotus Petal. Trigger Song. Mox Opal. Dark Ritual. We'll play a Ponder, looking for another artifact at this point. That's a Mox Opal. That's not what I meant by another artifact. I meant one that would enable Metalcraft. We'll shuffle. Like that. Lion's Eye Diamond is an artifact that enables Metalcraft. And that's the ball game. Look how sick this Burning Wish looks. Bringing me back to my childhood. What is left in your hand? They're going to Lightning Bolt me. A little weird to have that in your deck post-board, but sure. Leyline of the Void. We'll play another Mox Opal. Alright, Legend Rule. We'll keep the new one. So how I lose this game at this point is I misclick. So I know that I don't need to keep on playing this game, but I'm going to. Just because I don't want to accidentally, like, mess up. So I'm going to just make a few more mana and Burning Wish into Tendrils of Agony, knowing that I can't lose because I made a mistake. We'll play Chrome Mox, trigger, imprint the Gaia's Will, and now I will play Burning Wish, draws 2 more copies of Burning Wish, grab Tendrils of Agony, and our opponent concedes the match. So we went 4-1, not terrible. Even the one match we lost, I felt like was within our reach. You could have argued that I should have made some different plays, and well, you might be right, I might be right, who knows. I definitely want to go back and rewatch that one just to see if I could learn anything. But, I mean, this league looks strong. I thought Thoughtseize looked pretty good instead of Force of Will. I liked having the extra Chain of Vapor, because when you play Force of Will, you play 4. Well, we were already playing a Thoughtseize on the board, so you get an extra slot here because you're playing 3 Thoughtseize plus 1 Chain of Vapor. I thought the extra Chain of Vapors looked really good throughout the league, just having access to more bounce in general. Let me know what you think, especially you members, since you can watch this before the event. Is this the list I should play? I'd love to hear your feedback. But everyone else that watched this on normal release, I've already played in SCG Baltimore. But thanks for watching anyway. All right, that's all I've got for today. Have a great day, and as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe, because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.